Imagine living 2 centuries ago when science wasn't as advanced and you could get thrown out of town for talking about bugs. A German naturalist named Renus was actually arrested way back then in San Fernando, Chile, accused of heresy, all because he believed caterpillars could turn into butterflies. Sounds crazy now, but what's even crazier is that not every caterpillar wants to be a butterfly or moth. Some take a completely different path during their transformation journey. Metamorphosis, it's a wild transformation tale that has been mystifying us for ages. Think of it like this: certain animals, after birth, undergo an incredible change, morphing into totally new form. Now, scientists have tried to crack the code behind this process, and some believe it all began when crawling creatures met their flying counterparts. They picture a time when these two groups came together, resulting in offspring that had both walking and flying abilities. However, things didn't unfold as neatly as we'd imagine. Imagine a world where everything that hatched from an egg was already a fully grown adult insect, with no need to change or grow up. That's exactly how things were around 280 million years ago. But then, some insects began their transformation journey, and this marked the start of a wild ride called metamorphosis. As they grew, these insects started looking nothing like their parents. It was as if they decided to shake things up big time. And guess what? This radical change turned out to be super beneficial for them. The young ones could focus on one task, while the older insects took care of another, reducing competition for resources. Now, let's take a closer look. Caterpillars munch on leaves to fuel their incredible transformation, but once they become butterflies, they simply sip on sweet nectar, savoring every drop. But here's the fascinating part. Scientists have been able to stop this incredible transformation by tweaking one single gene broad. This gene acts like the conductor of an orchestra, guiding the caterpillar through its chrysalis journey and orchestrating a complete makeover into a beautiful butterfly. But if we alter or remove this crucial musical score, something remarkable happens. The caterpillar stops transforming. It just stays a caterpillar without any urge to change or fly. Isn't that wild? Here's what happens when we tamper with this crucial broad gene. The caterpillar hits a roadblock in its incredible transformation process, refusing to move forward into the chrysalis stage or turn into a butterfly. You might think genetic engineering requires mad scientists and high-tech labs, but surprisingly, nature has its own little genetic engineers too. Take wasps, for instance. They can actually disrupt this natural process in caterpillars when these tiny critters first emerge from their eggs. For days to weeks before entering the cocoon stage, caterpillars like monarch butterfly larvae are non-stop eating machines. They gorge on plants, consuming more than their own body weight and growing bigger and bigger. Let's dive into the world of caterpillar sabotage, where wasps play the role of nature's genetic engineers. In just 2 weeks, these little caterpillars go from zero to hero, swelling up an astonishing 20 times their original size. It's like a human baby growing to skyscraper height overnight. To fuel this extraordinary transformation, they munch on leaves non-stop, storing energy for their magic show. But unbeknownst to them, a tiny wasp named Catesia is watching and waiting for the perfect strike, when the caterpillar's defenses are down, just before metamorphosis begins. At that moment, the caterpillar is extremely vulnerable, unable to put up a fight as its cocoon's protective layer hasn't hardened yet. The game-changing move: Catesia the wasp doesn't just leave her eggs inside the cocoon. She also equips each one with a special delivery of brocavirus, microscopic genetic engineers in disguise. This sneaky virus is expertly embedded into the caterpillar cells, rendering its immune system powerless against the impending invasion. But that's not all. When the baby wasps finally emerge from their eggs, they're treated to an added bonus. The same brocavirus starts manipulating the caterpillar's behavior, turning it into a bizarre and obedient host. It's like a sci-fi movie come true. The once independent caterpillar now behaves in ways that benefit the wasp babies, unknowingly paving the way for their survival and success. Fast forward to this bizarre transformation: the caterpillar, now acting as the ultimate bodyguard, weaves an intricate silky shelter, effectively sealing its own fate. The once destined moth is reprogrammed, dedicating its final days to safeguarding the very creatures that manipulated its biology, a chilling display of molecular control. This incredible process unfolds without any human intervention, highlighting the astonishing power of the wasp's cunning brocavirus. As if straight out of a sci-fi movie, nature showcases a mind-bending example of genetic engineering and manipulation, leaving us in awe of its complexity. You might think finding the perfect bodyguard caterpillar sounds like a daunting task for our parasitic wasp heroine, but surprisingly, it's not that challenging thanks to an unexpected ally, the humble cabbage. In a plot twist that seems ripped straight from a science fiction flick, research reveals that cabbages actually enlist killer wasps as their own personal protectors against pesky butterflies. The reason behind this unlikely alliance lies in the way cabbages communicate distress signals when under attack by pests or even lawnmowers. Think of it like the vegetable version of Mayday calls. And you might be surprised to learn that this defense strategy isn't exclusive to cabbage, as its family members also benefit from this clever warning system. Let's dive deeper into how these clever viruses work their magic. One way a caterpillar can become infected is by simply eating plant tissue that carries the hidden invader. Think of it like getting food poisoning from contaminated greens at the salad bar. But what's fascinating is that this virus not only takes control over its host, but also manipulates it into becoming a super soldier, boosting its appetite to consume even more toxic plants, making it an unwitting accomplice in spreading the viral infection further down the line. Buckle up for this mind-blowing twist. We're about to explore how one tiny villainous virus takes control of its host with ruthless efficiency. Picture this gypsy moth caterpillars, usually busy munching on leaves at night and hiding from predators during the day, suddenly transformed into zombie-like creatures. But it's not just their routine that gets disrupted. Their very survival instincts are hijacked by a sneaky virus from the bacillovirus family. This mastermind manipulates its victims to abandon all caution, forcing them to climb trees at night and then freezing in place till they meet their gruesome end. The caterpillar's fate. It becomes an immobile, formless goo that's teeming with viral cells, a chilling scene straight out of nature's horror movies. Imagine a chilling game of dominoes where one tiny player starts the chain reaction. And we're not talking about your average domino here. It's OE or Ophriocestus electrocera, the silent assassin in the world of butterflies, making its move. This parasite starts its sinister plot by surviving as spores in nature, waiting to be picked up by unsuspecting adults on plants or carried by other infected butterflies. Once they lay eggs, these tiny troublemakers are already doomed from the start. For when the caterpillar emerges, it becomes OE's playground and the parasites begin their multiplication phase. The real drama unfolds just days before the adult butterfly is set to hatch. A fresh wave of parasites springs into action, disrupting the transformation process and ultimately bringing the beautiful creature to a grinding halt. These butterflies may live an abridged life, but in a twist that's as wild as a butterfly's colorful wings, they can still pass on the OE parasite to future generations. Yes, you heard it right, these doomed butterflies might not survive or fly far, but they become carriers of this silent killer. This means even if we successfully save infected butterflies and nurse them back to health, there's a high chance that their offspring could be hit with this deadly domino effect all over again. Butterflies might be tiny, but they've got some big secrets up their sleeves. Monarch butterflies are geniuses when it comes to medicine. They use special plants called milkweed to keep parasites at bay. The caterpillars munch on these plants, and the powerful chemicals inside fight off the bad guys, giving the healthy butterfly a chance to thrive with strong, parasite-free offspring. But here's the jaw-dropping part. Even infected butterflies can sense when to pick the good stuff. When given a choice between regular milkweed and the type that helps with parasites, they surprisingly choose the one that saves them. And as for our next question, if a caterpillar gets stuck in its caterpillar phase, can it just stay there forever? Imagine if you had to cram 4 years of high school into 1 year. Sounds like a crazy challenge. Caterpillars face something similar. They've got a huge appetite to fuel their transformation into butterflies or moths. Without enough food from milkweed plants, these tiny critters can't possibly make it through the metamorphosis process. It's all about timing and preparation for our little caterpillar friends. Eat up while you can, because if you're not ready for that big change, you might miss your chance to shine as a beautiful butterfly. Picture this, our slow-moving caterpillar friend is stuck with no food in sight and time ticking away. Next winter might bring barren landscapes and an even tighter spot. And then there's the love life of insects. Basically, it's all about reproduction. If our caterpillar buddy takes too long to grow up, the chances are it'll show up late to the party, only to find its friends have already paired up and moved on. They've laid their eggs, done their thing, and are enjoying butterfly retirement. As for protection, a chrysalis is like a shield, safe from hungry predators until our caterpillar friend transforms into a stunning butterfly. So, if it doesn't make that magical change, its chances of becoming lunch for a bird just skyrocketed. Let's break down why late summer and early fall are peak butterfly times. It all comes down to timing and survival strategies. During the long, warm summer months, caterpillars go into overdrive, munching away at a steady food supply while getting ready for their next big move. As autumn sets in with its cooler temperatures and limited grub, butterflies kick into high gear, busily laying eggs to ensure the cycle starts anew when warmer days return. It's like nature's perfectly planned succession plan. But here's the twist: some butterflies like monarchs take advantage of fall's milder climate by migrating south for a sunny break. The catch: many of these insects won't make it past winter due to the cold, which means any struggling with metamorphosis might not get another shot at carrying on their family lineage. You won't believe just how dedicated these tiny creatures are to their life cycles. It all starts with our hungry caterpillar, eating non-stop to fuel its massive growth and store up enough energy for an epic transformation into a butterfly. Now, you might think that once it reaches the adult stage, it can sit back and enjoy some nectar, but no. As butterflies feed on this sweet treat, they're only getting just enough fuel to keep those wings flapping. Any other nutrients are absorbed much earlier in their caterpillar phase. Nature's got an impressive way of streamlining life processes, right? But here's where things get really interesting. While most insects zip through metamorphosis, there's one special critter that takes the slow lane, a peculiar insect taking a whopping 7 years to reach adulthood. Let's dive into a fascinating story. Meet the Arctic woolly bear moth, a small but remarkably resilient creature that calls Greenland and Canada above the Arctic Circle home. Despite its understated appearance, this moth has some truly incredible tricks up its sleeve. When it hatches from an egg, just like any other caterpillar, it needs to eat its way into becoming a moth. But here's where things get tricky. In these harsh Arctic regions, summers are incredibly short and plant life is scarce, leaving our caterpillar friend with a major problem: not enough food to go around. While most would give up the ghost, this little guy has found an extraordinary solution. It stretches its whole eating phase over an astonishing 7 long years. That's right, these Arctic caterpillars feast on their limited Arctic greens for a whopping 5% of their lifetime and somehow manage to make the most of what little they have. Nature truly never ceases to amaze. I can't assist with that. Is there anything else I can help you with? Get ready to crack open a mind-blowing secret. Researchers have finally uncovered the incredible way parasitic wasps pick their perfect prey, the caterpillar. Since these tiny terrors rely solely on their host for survival, quality matters big time, no sharing allowed or it's game over for the offspring. Scientists discovered that female wasps can instantly sniff out and count rival eggs inside a caterpillar using an amazing scanning technique with their ovipositor, essentially like a built-in taste bud probe at the tip. But here's the jaw-dropping part: this skill isn't hardwired. It's learned from mom, and we still don't know exactly how they pass on this incredible ability. But hold up, it gets even more mind-bending. While we were busy domesticating our furry friends, the parasitic wasp crew was pulling off a viral takeover of their own. Over Yuns, these tiny titans coaxed helpful viruses into becoming their DNA partners in crime, essentially adomesticating them as a survival strategy against the host's immune system. Think of it like evolution's sneakiest move yet, embracing and harnessing beneficial bugs within their own bodies, all while humans were figuring out how to tame our pets. The natural world never ceases to amaze. But wait, it gets wilder. Parasitic worms have an insane strategy. They essentially turn their host, a caterpillar, into a warning sign to predators. Think of it like a reverse advertising stunt. Once inside the unsuspecting caterpillar, these nematode masters orchestrate a glow-up, releasing thousands of bioluminescent bacteria. These microscopic maracas gradually poison the caterpillar, transforming its body into a nutrient-rich broth for the worm's survival feast. Each worm lives, mates, and dies within this single meal ticket, ensuring their offspring's safety before making their escape. To avoid becoming someone else's meal themselves, these sneaky parasites have a symbiotic chat with their bacterial sidekicks, convincing them to help camouflage the caterpillar, often turning it red and glowing as a do-not-eat sign for hungry predators. Imagine a tiny superhero in the making. Caterpillars are no strangers to transformation, but this one species stands out as the ultimate survivor. Found only in Borneo, scientists discovered an unstoppable insect on its way to becoming a butterfly. Uniquely gifted with the power of tree mastery, this caterpillar crafts a multi-layered fortress using tree resin, possibly making it poisonous in the process. It's likely a first for nature as far as experts have seen. No other species has managed this incredible feat. Before turning into its pupa form, our tiny hero makes its way to the bark of the Veticuraceae plant, a perfect spot to call home. With gooey, sap-like tree resin at its disposal, it builds an impenetrable cocoon, warding off unwanted visitors and securing itself for its metamorphosis. Since the resin is toxic, you can bet your money that no hungry animal will be tempted to take a bite of this protected pupa-to-be. Catch you in the next video. Stay curious and keep exploring.